is up, guys? I know it's been like so long since I posted a video, and my last one was a DIY wicker shelf, and it was something really fun, a cool project to work on, but I felt like doing a story time today. So as you know, if you're on my channel, I am a substitute teacher and I teach like any grade level. It doesn't really matter, but I thought I would do like my worst experiences as a substitute teacher and like the different grade levels, because they're not perfect, you know. If you would like to hear some of those stories, and they are pretty good, go ahead and keep on watching. I guess I can start with elementary school and I'll just like go up the ladder, because so one of the elementary schools that I've taught at here, I was subbing for a second grade class, and sometimes second graders like are a little frisky and they like to move around a lot, so it's like it's a little hard throughout the day. But this class just was a little bit extra. Like, it was like, I don't want to say it was too hard to handle, but they just had no like structure. And I had seen a teacher, dang, I have like a cat hair on me. I had seen the teacher before I started, because she was still in there and preparing like the lesson plans for me, and she told me that they were a difficult class, so just to be prepared, because they had misbehaved for other substitutes before. So I was like prepared, and it was at one of the not so great elementary schools in my town. And probably like, I want to say around like 10-11 o'clock, I was like helping a student at the front of the classroom, and then all of a sudden I just hear like kids like screaming in the back of the class. And what had happened was two boys had got like in a fight in the classroom. One of the boys had like head kicked the other boy, and it just turned into like a little fight, and I had to like call the principal to the classroom. And it was just like a little awkward, because you don't want that to happen, and this was like my first time at the school. So yeah, so two second graders got in a fight in my classroom, and like they're second graders. Like, I don't understand like how that could even happen, but they got in a fight in the classroom. And yeah, the other elementary school I am going to talk about is more just about the staff and the way that I was treated when I was trying to come into the school. So this elementary school is just like on a four-way stop, and like the parking lot is not big at all. So let's just say like this is the school, and then I have to like turn into the parking lot to like get in. And I was trying to like turn into like their parking lot, and it's only one way. Like, you can't go into the parking lot any other way except for that one way. And I was there early, like probably like 15 minutes early than the time I was supposed to be there, just because I like to get there before like I'm supposed to be scheduled, so that way I can look over lesson plans. And I was already having like a not good day. Like, I woke up in just like one of those like days that you're just like not having it. And I go to like turn into the parking lot, and I see like the supervisor like kind of like on the corner by like the gate, and like I try to like drive into the parking lot, and she starts like screaming at me, like waving her hands, and she like runs over to like my window, and she's like screaming at me through the window. And I thought I had done something like bad, and she's like yelling at me, "Roll down your window." And I'm like, "Oh, like, hi, I'm here. I'm a substitute teacher, and I'm just trying to come into the parking lot to like, you know, like go in and do what I need to do." And she's like, "Do you not see me? Like, I'm trying to close the freaking gate." And there was like a whole line of cars behind me. Like, why? I didn't understand why she was trying to close the gate when that's the only parking lot. That's the only way in. And she was just like, "Do you not see? Like, I'm wearing this like this bright orange thing." I was like, "Yeah, I saw you, but I'm just trying to drive in." And it's not like I was going fast, I was going slow. And then she was like, "You know what? Like, I don't I'm gonna go into the office and I'm gonna let them know what you did. So confused, and I was already having a bad day, and I was just like upset because like as a substitute teacher, like you're going there to like help them because a teacher's out sick. So it was just like upsetting that a person of their staff was like so rude to me. And it's not like she was like calm, she was like screaming at me, and there was like people watching, and it was just like embarrassing. And so I go park, and I just like was like, you know what, I'm not working here. Like if they're gonna treat me like that, if someone of their staff can treat me like that, I'm just gonna call in and say like I'm sick and I'm not coming. So I like called, and by this time, after she had like screamed at me and I like parked, I was like crying because I'm really sensitive. So I like held it together while she was yelling at me, but the minute I like parked and like stopped my car, I was just like tears. And I just remember like I was like, I can't work here, like I don't want to work here. So I just called and let them know I was sick and I wasn't going to be coming in. And I will, to this day, I have not gone back to that school because I just think it's so disrespectful for someone of your staff to treat anybody like that. It doesn't matter if I was a substitute teacher. It's like I still to this day don't understand like what the problem was. So yeah, that's my little rant for elementary school and trying to sub and help them. I subbed at this middle school, and it was like towards the end of the year, so it was already like pretty wild, and I had been subbing there like for consecutive days at a time, and like the staff had already been getting to know me and the security and a bunch of students, so I was like aware of people. But I had subbed for this, like I wasn't even in the class, so like sometimes as a sub, like for a middle school, like you have your prep period, but that prep period they like will send you to go cover another class. So for my prep period, I got sent to another class, and they were having problems at the end of the year with water balloons. Like a lot of people were bringing water balloons to school and starting water fights in class, like in the like place where you eat and in the like halls and stuff. So I like go in, like I have to rush over there, go into the classroom, see like the sub notes, and then I start letting like the students in. And usually they just like are lined up and they start like coming in like single file, and that's what they were doing, just like coming in single file. And then like one of the boys was like, oh, is it okay if I get a drink of water? I was like, yeah, that's fine, like go ahead and get a drink of water. So he like goes over there, and I'm like letting the rest of the kids in, and I just all of a sudden notice like a big crowd like around the like the sink. So I walk over there and I just like let them know like, hey, we're in the classroom, like we're not supposed to be filling up water balloons, because they had a water balloon on the thing. And I was like, can you just let the water out and go take your seat? Like I wasn't rude about it, I just was like, let's not have a problem, go sit down. And this never happened. But instead of that happening, one of the boys, he like puffs up to me, he's like, what are you gonna do about it? Like, you're not our teacher. And he like literally puffed his chest up and got like closer to me. And I was like, honestly, I'm your teacher today. Your teacher may not be here, but you should be respectful to me. And yeah, it just kind of like escalated from there, and he was like cussing. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go call someone like to remove you from the classroom. And I hadn't even taken like roll yet, so I didn't know his name. And like I call someone and they take like forever to get there. And they're like, well, what was his name? I was like, I don't know his name because I didn't get to take roll. And this happened as like I was letting kids in. But honestly, like that disrespect of like what happened to me has happened more than once in a middle school like environment. I've had kids cuss me out. I've had students like almost fight in the classroom in middle school. I've never had a fight happen in the classroom, thank God. But I just had like a lot of disrespectful students in middle school, and I won't do middle school anymore because it's just not, it's not fun. Like it's not as nice, like it's not nice to go to a school to like have kids be like super rude and disrespectful and loud and think they could just like do whatever they want. It's like they have no care for like anybody. But yeah, that's my middle school one. Okay, and my last one probably has to be like the most extreme of like what's happened to me. I was at one of the high schools in town, and I was subbing for a science class. And first of all, I should not have even taken a science class because there's just no like structure, because a lot of the times kids can like sit at the desks or at their like weird like booth things. I don't even know what to call them anymore. But I already knew like it was gonna be a bad day because I had a girl who knew me in first period come up to me and let me know like, hey, like the classes you have later today, they're not gonna be the best. And she just let me know that the teacher was absent a lot and there's like no real structure because she's never really there. So I was like, okay, cool, great. But usually like for high school, I just like hope for the best and that they'll just be like semi-nice. So it starts getting to like the later periods, and like later on that day I was having like a problem with one of the classes. I can't remember which period it was. It was probably like 5th or 6th period. And they like came in and they were like really disruptive. I was able to take roll though. That's like one thing that I was like, okay, like it's gonna be fine. I'll just like take roll and like, yeah. So like as I was done taking roll, it just like turned into like a zoo in the classroom. Some kid was sitting at like the booth things where they usually do like their science projects, and he like broke a beaker, and then another kid like somehow, I don't even know freaking how, spilt water in like the center of the classroom. It was like a big puddle, and then another kid like threw a lotion bottle across the room and it like splattered all over the wall. And it was just like that. I had to end up calling supervisors to come in, and the supervisors told me basically that there is like no structure for the class because the teacher's never there, so they just like basically repeated what the girl had told me earlier. And they said that this always happens when there's substitutes, and yeah, she like kind of yelled at them a little bit and they like calmed down and they were fine like for the rest of the period. And then my next class comes in and it was like even worse, like super disrespectful. Came in, I could not take roll. I couldn't even introduce myself. They were just like sitting on top of tables and like just no care like that I was there at all. Just like came in and thought they could do like whatever they wanted. There was like trash on the floor, and I had like had to call supervision like right away because I wasn't able to take roll. And that's a problem when I can't take roll. And I tried like making sure they had their phones put away and like, you know, just trying to like calm the situation down without having to call supervision. But I ended up having to call supervision, and when she gets there, it was just like frustrating because she was just like, they can be on their phones, like it's how they are like calm and how they'll like listen. And she basically like bribed them that if they like were good, that she will get them food the next day. And she basically just like took away like all the rules that I tried to like put in place to like be respectful and to not be on their phones. And she like basically stayed in there with me the whole period until like the last 10 minutes. But I was just like, wow, like she's letting them be on their phone, like, which isn't always a problem, like if kids are on their phone, but like when they're disrespectful, like why do you get to have your phone? So those are the stories that I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed these stories of things that happened to me that weren't so great and enjoyable. Yeah. And I definitely have more of those stories. These are just like a few that I picked out. I don't want this video to be crazy long. So if you like this video and would like to hear more stories, go ahead and give this a thumbs up and subscribe. And also, I am going to be doing a video about like good experiences I've had and great kids that I've met, and just my experience like with those types of situations too, because it's not all bad. So if you like this, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.